Okay, it is video time. I'm in Rooms of Wonder. I'm really ready for her new book to come out. I don't know about y'all. I am going to be doing some metal today. I started on this one and I thought, oh, wait, this could be a good video. So let's practice with some gold first. I am using the Polychromo pencils. When the her new book comes out, I do plan on going back to Crayola for a little while, so stay tuned. All right, cream 102, cadmium yellow 107, dark cadmium yellow 108, and light yellow ochre 183. In other words, a creamy, a light yellow, a bright yellow, and then a yellowy brown. Okay, let's go ahead and just name all the colors off while I'm doing this. Then for my bronzy colors, I'm going to show you how to mix this. It's going to be dark Naples ochre, which is 184, and then burnt ochre 187, and sanguine 188. And then I'm going to do some silver. Silver's not hard, not really. I'm going to do cold gray 230. That's cool gray 1, cold gray 1. Then cold gray 3, 232. And then cold gray number 5, which is 254. 234? Okay. So, and I will talk about each of these as we're using them and what pencils you could sub out and things like that. Let's just go ahead and zoom in here and get started. Let's start with this thing right here because that's what I've already got going. There you go. Now, the colors I gave you from light to dark. Okay. And then I'm going to start with the lighter shade, and it's going to be what goes down the middle. Now, except for things like the rivets here, that might be just a little different. I'm going to go off center on this. The middle is still where your brightest is going to be, but where that's riveted, it might go in a little bit. So that's why we have just a little bit darker area there. There might be also a little bit darker right under all this wiring that comes through. And the wiring I will actually be doing in metallics or gel pens later. Okay, so I'm doing this piece because it is a little more involved. Okay, and I want to try to go the direction that's the longest here, so that's why I'm going this direction. Just get your color right down the middle, and that's what's used here, right down the middle. And sometimes there's a little more of it showing, sometimes there's a little less of it. It depends on how that light would be hitting it in that instance. Okay? I know sometimes it just sounds more difficult, but it's really not. That's why I'm wanting to show you this. Now comes my second shade. See, I'm leaving just enough on the outside for that overlap and for the other two shades. Right through there a bit. And we don't always use all 3 of the colors, or 4. Okay? And see, there's not as much of the light showing there because that is actually sunken in some, so it won't be as bright in the middle. There is a reason to all my madness, at least usually there is. Then I'll use the same color around through here. I'm probably going to do that patch in a metallic just because it makes it look more like it's a patch and it was added in. Okay? And this right here is bigger than this, so that's why I didn't leave as much light in the very middle. So you have to kind of look at where something is located to be able to know how much. See, this is indented, so this won't have as much light in the very middle. And this is on top, so this would have more. That's just part of what you have to look at when you're coloring things like this. Okay? And when I don't use all three, it will be either less of the middle or the first color, or I will skip the last color or one of the last two. Okay, now we're on the third color. You can see I'm coming in. Each time it's a little closer to the outside. And I'm just going to treat that as one piece down through here. This one was less. Do you have questions about gold in particular while we're on this? If you do, just pop them down in the comments. I do read all those. I may not get back to you immediately, but I do my best. Share my videos if you don't mind. I would like to, it's fallen off some in the summer, and I'm sure a lot of that is because my videos were not as regular due to health issues and stuff. But I'm trying to get back to being a little bit more regular with my videos. I am on that fourth color, yes. And you can tell it's not blended the best in here right now. That's okay. I'm going to come back with that very first color and I'm going to blend. Okay? For you that have been with me for a while, you know that I generally blend with my lightest shade instead of using a blender. And see, this would be darker up under the lip. So I've really cut that one back some. This one will be lighter because it's up towards the top. So I'm not even going to use this on the rest of that. Now I am going to come back with my lightest shade, that very first one, and I am going to blend all this. This is the time just to blend those colors. Make sure that the transition from one to the next goes smoothly. And then anything that's left over through this, like I said, will probably be with a glitter gel pen or a metallic gel pen. And see where this was kind of rough looking, just going over it with my first color, and it's smoothing it all. But do you see how when it's darker on the sides, it makes it look like it's a little bit more wrapped around? And that's what we're after. I'm going right over the top of the rivets because I will cover that with probably a gel pen or even a paint marker. You know, there's quite a few good paint markers out there now. You've got the Hippie Crafter, you've got Posca, you've got, who is it that makes one? Sharpie makes one now. There's quite a few. So the paint pens would work nicely too. So that's all I'm going to do with the gold, but that's enough to show you how gold would be. And it's the yellow base, and then you get darker and darker. And you could get even darker around there if you wanted to. There's no ruling on any of that. Let's go with like a bronze color. Let's look at this one, just because it's not too detailed and I can actually show you a bit more in there. So I gave you those numbers. If you need to go back and look at them real quick, do that. That's the great thing about this being on video. You can look as you want. You can go back and forth and look and everything. Okay. So I'm going to go through here. That's probably going to be metallic. Now this door I am treating as a separate piece. So it's going to be lighter just like everything else is, but I'm doing it off center again, just like I did the other piece up on the top one. Okay, get that in there, and I'm going to go ahead and do this and do this. Now something like this, it's going to be brighter on top and then darker through here because that's what's down underneath. Okay. Again, the rivets will be a different color or a different coloring utensil, whatever you want to call it. So not to worry on that. Okay, now my second shade. And I probably could use just these two colors, but I grabbed another one just to make it darker. Just so I could make that edge darker where it wraps. Making your edges darker will really lend to giving the application and the sense of something being more rounded. So that's always a good thing. And this is also kind of like a gold, and I call it bronze. It's probably not so much bronze, it's just another shading of the gold. And I'm going to come up here and do this. Oh, I missed that section, so let's grab that real quick. Right through the middle. Then the outer edges. Now, because this piece is up on top and curved like it is, only this bottom edge will be the darker. Okay, then there's the sides. Here's the bottom bits, and leave that top. Oh, that's right. We do have to do some of this in here. So I'm going to come around this, and I'm probably just going to use these two pencils on this area because I don't want to use dark here and here. We'll have a lost edge. And if you've missed lost edges, we do talk about that on some of our videos, where when you do so many colors together that you'll lose where that edge was supposed to be. Okay, now here I am getting the deeper shade in. I am going to get right here on the edge But then I just don't think I need to do that other part. We'll see. That's always something that you can play with, and then if you find you need it, you can add it. There are no coloring police. I haven't said that in a long time. There's nobody that's going to come back and check your work. It's for you. It's for fun. So I guess I will do this outer edge just slightly, ever so slightly, and then on up, and then these bottom corner, the outer edge, the very bottom here, and then we will go down this side again with this darker, blend it in, blend, blend. Not too bad. I don't know how it looks to y'all, but it doesn't look bad at all on my side. That's the thing. Sometimes y'all don't see exactly what I see, or I don't see exactly what you see. So, and you can feel free to add whatever colors you like. You want more orange in there for that more bronzy look, add some orange. It's going to be the same thing, just take out some of the yellow ochre and put in more of an orange. So I'm just blending. Just really get that blended. Take your time, don't rush through like I am. I just want to get it all done in one video. For anybody that's working on silver or gold specific, I don't want you to have to be like, oh, I gotta wait until the next one comes out. No. Okay, so now if you wanted that even more of a bronze look, I would come back and just go over it ever so slightly, and that'll knock some of that yellow out. You probably can't tell a huge difference. I can tell some, but anyway. All right, so there's those. And then, let's see, there is a difference between the yellow and what I call bronze. That would need more orange in it. More browns maybe to be a true bronze. I just want to show you different metals. Let's go ahead and do some silver. I think this one right up here. Let's do silver on that one. And again, I used the cool grays, the cold gray, so to speak, in this set. You could use warm grays. I don't know that I would go with a French gray, because that is going to mean that it is more on the brown side than the gray side. And if that's the color you're looking for, though, then that's great. Go for it. Now, as you noticed here, I was kind of turning. Okay. You're still going to have the shine for the most part closer to the body, closer to the middle. Then here. And then when I get up here, it's going to be center and then darker on both sides. This one's probably going to be darker, period, just because it's down underneath all of this that I'm working on right now. And then that door, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it in the metal also. And it almost looks like sheets of metal. But I'm going to just go ahead and do this middle part. And then this and this border and that trim will all be in a metallic or glitter gel pen. Now, this is going down, so it's going to be darker at the bottom. So my lighter area is going to be like this. Okay, this is its own piece, but then when you get to here is when it's going to change. And down here on the legs, there's not really going to be a whole lot of light. I will put some in here just because it will look better, but it's getting some reflection off this metal, but it's not getting the direct light like all of this is. Okay, so let's start up here. Okay, and I'm not going to use the darkest on this one because it's at the very top. And this one is going to get, I'm going to do that all the way across, and then I'm going to come in with the dark on the outer edges. So let's go ahead and do this real quick too, and then I'll go back and grab that other one, the darkest, and we'll have this top section finished. I don't need the lightest again until we blend. So here's the darkest one, and then here on the edges a bit, and the edges. Okay, now let's look at what we were talking about here with this one. This middle piece, we're going to come across and then blend in. Here, we're going to come across and then blend in. I want a lot darker on that side. Let's go darker on this side. Try to make it even however you're doing it. Now on this is what's catching the light. So I'm going to go darker down through here. Okay. And this, I'm going to go darker on these edges. And then darker here. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So if the light's coming here, it's going to be darker on these edges. But then on this one, I make it lighter in the middle, just because it's closer to the door and it kind of accentuates the door. And light does bounce around on metal. Sometime when you're in the shower, take a look at the metal in there, the fixtures and stuff, and see where all the light is bouncing. Now see, this is going to be darker because it's way down on the bottom. It's just not getting as much light. And then I'm going to blend in through here and then blend in. And I know I did leave some there that was light, but I'm going over the top of it anyway. It just makes sense in my brain that that would be darker. Okay, so let's go back up here now. Let's do the darkest. Right in there. Then where it wraps around to the back. Across the bottom. Back up the other side. Where it wraps. And then where it goes way in there where the light's not quite touching it. Okay? And then on these, this is being shadowed by this piece. And then here underneath, it would be darker because the light's not down under there. This is shadowed. And then when you get down to the bottom, it's just shadowed from the stuff that's sitting around it. And that leaves us our light back in the middle. Okay, now let's look. Let's take our lightest shade. Let's go back and blend everything in together. See how it looks. Blending doesn't always change it a lot, but it does help in the look of it being more realistic. It's more believable when you do your shading. Okay? And if you want to do the whole thing in gel pens, do it all in gel pens. You know? My cough has been better. Still coughing some, but not as bad. I will be going to my hernia doctor this Friday. And today is actually, well, what is today? Today is actually Monday the 11th of September. So, yeah. So it'll probably still be the upcoming Friday when you watch the video. Don't know. Just, each test comes back clear, so I just go on to the next person to see what can be done. But at least all the biopsies were clear, so that's good. In-laws are hanging in, doing fine. By the time you're watching this, the kids and grandkid, the one, will all be at Disney World. They're doing good. All right, now what do you think? That's a good silver. Okay, so then when we go back out, remember, yeah, see, now that I look at that, bronze would have more orange to it. A lot more orange in there. But see, it's like I've said before, it's not done, it's not finished until you quit working on it. So do with it what you like. If you think it needs more in there, put it in there. If you want it more orangey, grab an orange and put that in there. I just don't have an orange right here. In fact, I'm going to grab this lighter shade, the cream number 102, and I'm going to blend with it. Just because I don't want to add more yellow, but I don't mind blending with the cream. And that still does look like a different shade of a metal, so I'm still okay with it. Okay? All right, yeah. I would say that the silver is really an easy one to do. The gold, again, you can add a light brown on the edges and make it pop even more. So there's that. But yeah, I don't have anything else. I think that's it for this time. Again, this is a current book on Amazon. There's your ISBN. And her newest book is on pre-order and will be coming out in the fall. All right? Okay, leave me comments. Let me know that you're following. And we will talk to you all in a few more days. Bye-bye.